Hi, Maureen from Color Me Positive PLR. And I had someone ask me if you could use the layer templates in PhotoPea. And you can. It's a bit different from Photoshop. It's pretty relative though. Just works a little bit so differently. So forgive me if I stumble a bit because I don't normally use PhotoPea, but I'll do my best. So you're going to come here. When you go to photopea.com, this screen will come up. You're going to go open from computer. Now I'm going to open one of the PSD files from the bonus that I'm giving you for picking up some of Dai's templates. And we'll work on this one. Now see, when you open it, you have all the layers over here, and you can see them pretty well, which layers they are. So let's start off with this layer. Let's make it a different color. So what you want to do is double click on this layer. That'll bring up the layer style palette. And you're going to want to go to color overlay. See how it changes that? Now when you come to color overlay, you have tons of options here for blending modes. Now if you want to change the color, you have to click here. Okay, that'll bring up this palette and you need to actually choose within here. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that as is. And you can use all of these different modes to see how it looks. See how it changes when you use normal. Dissolve doesn't really change much. Multiply, that'll make it darker. And other ones I like to use are overlay and soft light. So it gives it all a different look, right? So let's just use, why not? Overlay. And then you click OK. Now you can also do different things as well besides the color overlay, and I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to leave, these are the white spots there, I'm going to leave them white, and this one is the pink. So I'm going to double click on that. I'm going to come to color overlay. And then I'm going to use normal. And let's see. Okay. And now this one I want to add some bevel to. Okay. And this is going to give your image more depth. And you can also do this in Photoshop very easily in your layer style. So see how it gives this some depth. So I'm going to leave that. I like the way it is. You can also play here with the screen and it'll change that different colors as well. Whoops, I'm still on overlay. Okay, so let's go back to the color overlay. Put this back. Yeah, like the normal one on there. Okay, so now you have the bevel and emboss, right? So that brings it up a little bit, and you can play with that by making the depth deeper. I'm going to leave it there. You can do an inner bevel, emboss, outer bevel, so you can play with that to see what you like best. I'm going to leave it as is. You can make it go, I usually use smooth for illustrations and graphics, but you can try chisel hard, chisel soft, and you can make it go up or down. And see the difference? Okay, and I like the up better. And you can change the depth of it and all that stuff as well. Now to make it stand out even more, you can add a drop shadow. So you would come down here, add a drop shadow, and see how it brings it up even more. And you just make sure you're clicked on there. And you can change the distance, the size, and everything else. So let's see. I'm going to make the size a little less, distance a little less. And in PhotoPea, it takes a little bit for it to get going because it is online, and I like that. So I'm going to leave that as is. Okay. There. Now, this, I'll show you how you can use a gradient. Instead of color overlay, go to gradient overlay. Okay. And then you just click on the gradient overlay, and you can change. I actually really like that pink. So maybe change this one. Click OK. And here you can also move it depending on if you want more of the top color. See how it changes? I'm going to leave it about there. I like that. I'm not so sure I like this. Maybe white. It's too stark. Okay, I like that. It's subtle, but it's cool. And again here I'm going to do the bevel and emboss to make it stand out a bit more, as well as drop shadow. And the values that you've used in the last one should remain the same, so you would have the same drop shadow and stuff on each of them. So I like that. Click OK. And now I'm going to come to layer number 6. Double click. And maybe try gradient overlay on this as well. Okay, so you click on that. You come over here. Click on gradient. And click on that color if you want to change it. Click down here. And you can also choose colors by just coming over here and clicking on any of the colors in your image as well. It's like a color picker. Okay, so I like that. And then this one. Let's see. And I like that. And click OK. Again, I'm going to do the bevel and emboss on that as well as the drop shadow. Right? And you can go back and change any one of these at any time. So I'm not liking the color so much on this one. So I'm going to come back to color overlay, double click on later, come back to double overlay. And let's see what it looks like normal. Let's try a different color. Yeah, I think I like that better. There, I like that. Okay, and I'll add a bevel and emboss to this too. Why not? And then a drop shadow. There we go. Click OK, and now you have a completely different flower, colors with some bevel and emboss. So there's tons you can do with these templates, right? And it looks really awesome. Actually going to save this one because I like it. So you would save, come over here to File, save as PSD because I want to keep the PSD file. Save it. And okay, just save it as number 4. And I want to also save it as PNG. So here you would have to come over here, export as PNG. Okay. And this gives you all the information. It's in PNG format. You can move around to make sure, you know, it looks cool. And I'm going to save. save that there. And that's it. So even if you don't have Photoshop, it's pretty easy to work with these templates in terms of changing them over to be what you want them to be. And I hope this helps. So happy creating, guys.